Hey, what's up, Lightbolt Joe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2023 horror film Saw 10. Saw 10. Bro, it's been a whirlwind adventure. When was the first Saw? 2003? Something like that? It's funny watching these films with Tobin Bell back as John Kramer because I have such fond memories of watching the, original trilogy with my dad and my brother. We stayed up so late, did a three movie marathon. What was it? 3, 4, and 5. 03, 04, 05. I think it was like one a year they did for a while. And my brother and I wanted to watch them for the longest time, but we were too young, even though we were middle school, right? It's a good middle school film. And so when the third came out, Blockbuster was still around, and so we rented them and we did a marathon one Friday night. And I remember this vividly. It was a great father son bonding moment. And when John got up off the bathroom that first movie, we just all went, "What?" screaming at the TV. Could not believe it. And then the reveal of the second film where Daniel was in the safe the whole time with the oxygen mask. Could not believe it. And the third film when John is killed, we're like, "Wait, what?" And then it was a matter of how are they doing 4, 5, and 6, and then 7, and then realizing that a lot of the films had flashback stuff. And then the sequels, the 8th was really before everything, and then the 9th was really another spinoff of within regards to the same universe, a copycat killer, if you will. So then it was now a matter of when they announced the 10th, we were like, wait, and Tobin's back as John, and we're like, wait, what? He died like 7 movies ago. What are we doing? And then they're like, yeah, it's between 1 and 2, and we're like, oh, okay, and Amanda's back. And Hoffman's back. And we're like, oh, okay. So it's just more of a Amanda in training. This is an Amanda in training film. And it's a matter of how this particular group of people became in the crosshairs X of John Kramer. So we're in between 1 and 2. He's, got his tumor, his brain tumor diagnosis. He has a couple months left to live. And we know that there's insurance problems in regards to, I think it was the 6th film. That's where we get the insurance background. And we know John had sought treatment. And we know that, pictures were switched on accident at one point. And that's what the 8th one was about. Those people involved. And then, one of the people involved in that. Yes, because the 8th was really before the 1st. And this was before the 2nd. Yeah, I should have wrote a whole timeline of all of this now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, it's just neat to see this of John still trying to figure out his cancer treatment, because we get a lot of summary of he was given the diagnosis and then he lost the will to live and then he found his purpose again after that car accident, and then it was a matter of stuff, right? And the stuff was, there was the car accident, but then him and Jill losing their son, well, soon to be son, with Cecil smushing her stomach. It was a horrible scene, and then that's why Cecil was one of the first victims, test subjects, playing a game. And John had a very unspoken rule of you don't harm children because of Gillian's death. And so it was interesting watching teenagers in some of the other things, like Daniel was a teen, but he was safe in the 2nd film. And then Devin Bostic's character in the 6th film was a part of a trap, but it was more scare factor for them to then use the acid needles to get rid of the bad guy, who happens to be his dad. And then there was another teen in another film. I don't remember what they did. I don't remember, but John's thing was a lot of don't hurt kids kind of a thing. So with this film having the revenge story arc of this group of individuals who scammed him out of a lot of money, to promise him the treatments to remove his brain cancer and save him with a drug cocktail, and then him finding out that it was all fake. So he's outside of Mexico City. He then tracks down all these individuals with the help of Hoffman. Him and Amanda set the traps up. And then one of the younger, little kids in the neighborhood, Carlos, happens to be kicking a soccer ball against the warehouse that they're all at. And then he's then taken by one of the subjects who switches the revolves. Cecilia's the main bad girl and a scammer, and she's, with another guy named Parker scamming. And so Cecilia grabs Carlos, sets him up in a trap with John. And then the question was, if that trap was originally hers, why were there two neck things for bloodboarding, not waterboarding, and like stuff, right? Like, how does that make sense? But it's explained because John knows everything, and him and Amanda planned for everything, and him and Parker and Cecilia were getting their own trap in the main office after it was revealed, after Carlos and John were able to get through their trap. But it was a matter of, don't hurt the kid. I'm gonna keep bloodboarding myself until you start your own game, your own timer, by taking the bag. You think there's money in it, but there's not. And it was really neat. It was really neat seeing it. The games were very sophisticated in this. It was very interesting. It's amazing how far we've come with in regards to props and the mechanics of the traps. Where we were over, when was the first one? I think it was like 03, 02, 03. I feel like it was 03. I could be wrong, but I feel like it was 03. It's just interesting seeing it from a technological standpoint of how far we've come, but it's still a timepiece, because if this is between the first and second film, this is the beginning of the aughts. This is 2003, 2004, when this, scratch that. No, the first one takes place in 01, and we know that because of the cell phone that Dr. Gordon has, Lawrence Gordon has. It says like September 10th, 2001, and there was a meme recently about like, yo, you think these guys had a horrible day? Just wait until the next day, in regards to September 11th, 2001, the whole world shutting down. So this has to be then between 02 and 03, or 01 and 02, one of those kind of like mixes. This is very beginning new millennium timeline, and you know that because there's the specific phones used in regards to this, and like, I love when they can pull a period piece off, continuing a franchise, but this was incredible. I didn't expect the twist, and it wasn't jaw-dropping, but it was like, bro, that good. Let's go. And I was very impressed to see it. This is the 10th installment in a franchise that's been going on for 20 years, over 20 years. 10th installment in a 20-year franchise. It's very hard to continue on to one up. This is the longest film in the franchise. Most Saw films are an hour and a half. First film was an hour 40-something. The third film was an hour 40-something. This was an hour 50-something. This was pushing the 2-hour mark. This is the longest film in the franchise. And I didn't feel like I was bored out of my mind. I didn't feel like anything was dragging. It was appropriately paced. It was just gorgeously crafted. I am just very impressed that the 10th installment in a 20-year franchise is one of the best. This might be my second favorite out of all of them. The first, of course, is the best because no one expected ever for the dead body in the middle of the floor to be actually John Kramer, just in makeup, getting off the floor and saying the key is in the bathtub, not knowing that Adam had accidentally sent the key down the bathtub drain when he was coming back to his conscious state after inadvertently pulling the drain with his foot. Bro. And then the mid-credit scene of John and Hoffman with one of the other local scammers, if you will, playing a game. I'm very impressed. I had expectations for this. My expectations were I didn't want to be disappointed. That was my only expectation for this because this is the 10th film in a franchise. Bro, my expectations were superseded. I was beyond impressed, and I will be preaching this to the choir continuously. Amazing film. Saw a 10. 2023 horror film. On to the next review. Mahalo.